It's been a wild day of soccer today. Like, totally wild.
You couldn't have scripted it more, wild, crazy, insane than it was today. All the games were so much fun to watch, so wild. Today was quite a fun day.
Definitely kept us on our toes and at the edge of our seats. It was wild.
So how's it going, everyone? Yeah, we're going to talk about two games in particular, but I mean, every single game had drama, had excitement. Even if it wasn't the most dramatic game, it had excitement. It was exciting. It did kind of suck that a lot of the games played head to head to each other. The US game and the Canada game were going on at the same time, so you really couldn't watch them at the same time, and you'll have to watch it a repeat, or maybe some really professional TV watchers can, but we couldn't. But I mean, timestamps down below, but we will start with the big USA win. And when I say big, I truly mean that. This was huge for USA, a confidence booster. You really felt, I mean, I've talked about this. I feel like we are winning gold, but you really felt like this was the match that says, okay, yeah, that's going to happen. So exciting.
The US sleigh showed up today.
They really did. So exciting. 4-1 against Germany. And first thing I'll say, the way we recorded this video, we recorded a video that's going to come out on Monday that we talked a little bit about this. But did it have anything to do with Emma Hayes being in the USA gear, Sarah?
Oh, yes, it did.
The power of the red, white, and blue. Yes, she was wearing, USA gear. She looked great in it. So I saw it on Twitter, though. Someone goes, I like British Emma better than American Emma.
That's funny.
Yeah, very. I saw that pretty funny. But I mean, she was dressed. I mean, she looked more. She couldn't have looked more American. And then also on our broadcast, I saw 3 or 4 girls. The camera panned to them, and they go USA, USA, and I could have sworn to you they had a pretty heavy British accent. Now you can be British and American. That's what's great about America. You could, but I think they were just British who were rooting for America, maybe because of Emma, but I thought it was so cute. And if they didn't have British accents, I'm sorry, but I'm almost positive they did. Huge match. I mean, also starting out, we didn't talk about this on any other video we've done, but kind of the storyline of Emma Hayes versus the German goalie, which is Ann-Katrin Berger, which they have a personal, I don't want to call it a feud, but they really had problems at Chelsea.
They allegedly have some beef.
Yeah, they had some problems at Chelsea, and that was kind of a personal storyline. I'm sure Ann-Katrin more than even Emma wanted to say, hey, I'm gonna beat Emma Hayes because I think she kind of did me dirty. Unfortunately, although she had a couple great saves, it didn't work out in her favor. But I think there was a couple plays the German defense didn't do her any great favors. But that was a storyline too, and so that was another storyline. Personal kind of feuds. But I mean, starting off the match, in the 10th minute, Sophia Smith scored. It was gorgeous. I mean, that started off such a good roll. Then they were up for about 12 minutes. Then in the 22nd minute, Germany scored. And at that point, I thought it was going to be a tight game. I really did.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be back and forth. I mean, just like the other game that we watched. Just like the Australia-Zambia game.
Oh, okay. So you were thinking it was going to be really high scoring, which it kind of was in a way, but you thought it was going to be 1, then 1-2, then back and forth. Yeah. Okay. So I thought it was going to stay 1-1 until the end for some reason, but it didn't. And I'm so glad it didn't, because in the 26th minute, just 2 to 4 minutes later, Mal Swanson scored. I mean, USA were just playing great. Trinity Rodman, Sophia Smith, and Malpew are just hitting their stride all together, looking amazing. It was so great to see. I mean, the top 3, those 3, I mean, best in the biz right now. They really are. 44th minute, Sophia Smith scored again. So going to halftime, 3 up, 3-1, great score. Then second half, same thing, just looked good. It was kind of, at points, it was kind of stressful. Germany came close a few times. Yeah. It wasn't like, oh, we're dominating. Germany had some really nice, bright moments. But what I've kind of heard is Germany's biggest problem, from what I could gather from analysts, without Lena Oberdorf there, they put Alexandra Popp, in kind of a position not to be able to score like she could if Lena Oberdorf were there. So her positioning wasn't great for Popp's strength, which is scoring. So because they had to move her over. Now, could they adjust the formation and put her somewhere else to score more goals next time? Maybe. But without Lena Oberdorf, it really hit them hard. Yeah. And also, I don't think they had one corner kick. I'm trying to think. I don't think they did. And that's their bread and butter. The last game they played against Australia, they had 2 goals on corner kicks, and they had no corner kicks. So that was really positive for America, but not positive for Germany.
Yeah.
Then, and subs were kind of few and far between. Emma Hayes did not really bring on subs. She brought in LYNN. I don't know what minute she brought in LYNN, like the 82nd minute. But LYNN comes in, has a new leg wrap. It matches her uniform, red, white, and blue. Yeah. And she freaking scores on her teammate at Gotham, because that's her teammate at Gotham, but she scores.
It was crazy. Yeah, that's the first thing that came to mind was, she scored on her own teammate.
Yeah. And so happy to see her score, and she looked great, and so happy. I will say, Tierna Davidson went down she went down kind of early. I'm not sure what minute. They brought in Sonnet, but Tierna is very important to that team. And, what kind of injury? Is it going to be an injury? Are they it looked pretty serious. They clacked knees against each other. And I don't know if that's Tierna's reconstructed knee, or I'm not quite sure.
You want a knee slapper, not a knee clapper.
Yeah. It didn't look good, but we will see. She's important to the team. She was playing so well. And then they brought in some subs later in the game. They brought in Neiswanger and Casey Kruger. And some people said, why did she wait so long for subs? But I heard the opposite saying is it kind of was a tense game at the end because Germany was making a run for it. So the idea of not disrupting the flow, there's kind of a tension in the game. So don't disrupt the flow, because that things could have gone off the rails, which we saw in later games, which we're going to talk about. So even if it looks good, we saw from other games today, just because you're up 3, that almost doesn't mean anything at this point.
Exactly. Yeah.
So excited. I mean, so many positive comments in the comment section. Someone goes, if we keep playing like this, we can definitely get gold. Best soccer I've seen the ladies play in years. Way to go. The Emma Hayes era is cementing itself for a bright future. This team is going places under her reign. So excited. People are, and then I saw someone goes, the comment section switch up is crazy, because last team was like, we miss Alex Morgan and all this stuff. And that's the way sports, till the end of time, that's the way sports will go.
Yeah, fans are wild.
Yeah. So what did everyone think? Big, huge win. That also means that we have officially not gotten grouped. We have moved on officially. Now the question is, are we going to be in the first or second place, depending on what happens Wednesday? And that means depends on what happens Wednesday. The opponent will be different, whether or not you're in the first or second place. But there's no easy road, so it almost doesn't matter. We're officially into the next round, which is great to see. So pumped, so excited. Okay. Now, let's go on to this game. This is a game Sara and I pretty much watched live. It was before the USA game, but Australia versus Zambia. This was one of the craziest games I've watched in a very, very, very long time.
Yeah, it was a lot of action, a lot of back and forth.
Zambia is one of my favorite teams to watch. They are just a lot of fun to watch. They might not be the most organized. They might not be the most technical. But they are fun to watch. And that goal, Sara has a crush on the goalie.
No, I really like watching the goalie. I don't know. I like her.
Yeah, she's very passionate. I kind of like when she kind of yells at her teammates.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. But, Australia has not been playing great. Everyone knows Australia has not been playing great. So when this game got started, in the first minute, Barbra Banda scored in the first minute. It did not look good for Australia out the gate. Alana Kennedy scored in the 7th minute. Then Kumanji scored in the 21st minute. Then Barbra Banda scored in the 33rd minute. So you're thinking, at that point, it's 3-1 Zambia. Zambia's on the road to take this. But at that point, it was still pretty early. It wasn't even half. Just 2 minutes after Barbra Banda scored, Rasso scored. So, the scoring was out of control in a good way. I like high-scoring games. I think they're fun. Then in the 49th plus 2nd minute, Barbra Banda scored a hat trick all before halftime. Then after the half, come back and Kumanji scores again. So at that point, it is down 5-2. At that I'm thinking Zambia has this. I mean, I'm thinking, yep, they got it.
Yeah, I'm thinking there's no way Australia can catch up. Like, what?
Yeah.
But wilder things have happened, so.
We were screaming all the goals. We're like, what's going on? It was just fun to watch.
Yeah, I didn't know who I was rooting for because I was like, I want Zambia to win, and then when Australia was putting in their goals, I was like, oh man, no, I was just all over the place.
But that would be the last goal for Zambia because the Australians scored 4 goals. Well, one was an own goal by Zambia. It was an own goal by Zambia, but then Australia just came back. Catley scored 2 in a row, and it was tied until the 90th minute. And at that point, I thought it was going to maybe be a draw. Like, I thought, oh my God, they came back. There was one called off goal. 90th minute, HEYMAN, I believe that's how you pronounce her name. HEYMAN scored the game-winning goal in a wild game. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't know too much about HEYMAN, but the comments always saying, bring in HEYMAN, bring her in. You're not bringing her in enough. You got to bring her in. She's going to do stuff. And the comments were proven right because she comes in and makes the game-winning goal.
Today she was brought in.
Yeah. Exciting for Australia. Did they play a great, was it a sloppy game? Well, but a win is a win. And then people were saying, a never say die attitude of the girls came out to play. Such a bloody good game of football to watch. Up the Tillies. Then I did see a couple comments, I don't have them in front of me, that basically said we shouldn't be too excited over this game. We should have just beaten Zambia. They're ranked so low. I did see a few comments like that. Yeah, this is great we won, but we should have never won in this fashion. So great we won, but not the greatest. We should have won easier.
Never count out the underdogs because you've seen what they did, with the World Cup and everything and just soccer and just crazy games,
Yeah. I didn't mention this, but one of the goals by Catley was a PK. Great PK. The goalie judged she went the right direction. It was just too strong of a strike from Catley. I saw the kind of the criticism, bad defense. There was bad defense in this game. Wild game. Exciting. I like games like this. A lot of people are saying Tony is, not playing to win, Tony out. I keep seeing comments like that, but exciting game. I would be interested to hear if the Australian fans were happy overall or were they kind of frustrated with this game, because I could see it go both ways.
Yeah, totally. A little bit of both.
Yeah. So what did everyone think? Sarah and I actually watched that game live, which was exciting.
It's the type of game where you walk away for a few minutes, you go to the bathroom, and literally something crazy has happened. Or, Sarah went to the bathroom for less than a minute, and she missed a goal, like a crazy goal, and just wild stuff.
Exactly. And I love games like that. Okay. Then Colombia played New Zealand. It was a 2-0 victory for Colombia. And, I don't think that was the only probably not shocking game of the whole day. Realistically, that was probably the only not shocking game. Colombia scored 2 goals. So they beat New Zealand. I had in my notes, New Zealand never had a chance. Now, I did not watch the game. They could have had a chance, but in this tournament, I'm saying they're the one team. I think a lot of people are saying, nice people, but they're not winning the Olympic. They're not winning the Olympic, at least gold. They're going to get grouped, This other game, I walked away from this game thinking today, this was what solidified this day being crazy. Japan versus Brazil. This game, I don't think anyone saw this game. Saw the score coming, at least the way it happened. The way it happened was crazy. 2-1 Japan. In the first half, Japan missed a PK. They would have gone up 1-0 on a PK. Japan, I don't think has great PKs. I think they do a lot of things great. Their PKs always seem a little bit weak. But in the 56th minute, Brazil scored. And, at that point you're thinking, okay, 1-0. Is this going to be the final score? Is Japan going to come back? Then Marta actually was playing. She got subbed out. I did read this. There was a 6-minute standing ovation for Marta in France because how much respect and how much people love her. Standing ovation.
Iconic.
So people love her and respect her so much. Will this be her last game ever? No, because they play one more game. But they appreciate her. They appreciate her so much. Then this is where things got wild. in stoppage time, the score was still 1-0. And you're thinking, okay, is this the score? Is Japan maybe going to score one? Japan ends up scoring 2 goals in stoppage time. How wild is that? There was one that was a handball on a Brazilian player. So then they got a PK and they connected the PK. So it was great to see them connect with the PK. Then they scored another goal right after that. And that was it. That was the score, 2-1. Brazil was shell-shocked after that.
I would have been. I mean, that's shocking.
That's one of those games where you walk away thinking, I never saw this coming. In overtime, the Japanese team scoring 2 goals. Between that, the Australia game, and just a crazy, crazy day of soccer. Then the Spain-Nigeria game. We're not really going to talk about this, but Nigeria came close to drawing, came close to winning. It was 0-0 until 85th minute. 85th minute, Nigeria against Spain. And Nigeria's a great team, but Spain is Spain. And then who scores the winning goal?
Alexia.
I mean, so happy for her. That was a great goal. Excited. That was it. I mean, Nigeria was playing hard, but I mean, Spain is the team where we look at and say they're going to win. If United States doesn't win, Spain is winning, maybe France. But it's like the fact that Nigeria really came close, held Spain off for that long, and then also didn't let them score until the 85th minute. Very exciting. I mean, I don't think a lot of people saw that one coming either, but just another crazy day of soccer. Okay, and the last game we are going to talk about is this Canada game. So the way we recorded this video is yesterday we talked about the sanctions that FIFA put on the Canadian team. More has happened since then, but I might play a little snippet of our video we recorded yesterday and cut that from the video we'll do tomorrow, if that makes sense. But we talked about the year ban for Bev Priestman and her two assistant coaches, the $225,000 fine. Like I said, I might just insert that now. Moving on, we're going to touch on this briefly because I think this is going to be the common thing we talk about a lot because this is the scandal of the games. I mean, last year, the scandal was the Russia, Katie cheating. This one is, now we have real football cheating. FIFA has come down with penalties against the Canadian team. I'm going to have Sara read this.
Drone spying scandal. FIFA strips Canada of 6 points in Olympic women's soccer, bans coaches 1 year. The stunning swath of punishments include a $226,000 fine for the Canadian Soccer Federation in a case that has spiraled at the Summer Games. 2 assistant coaches were caught using drones to spy on opponents, New Zealand's practice before their opening game last Wednesday. Head coach Bev Priestman, who led Canada to the Olympic title in Tokyo in 2021, already was suspended by the National Soccer Federation, then removed from the Olympic tournament. Canadian officials suspect the spying has been systemic over years. Priestman and assistants Joseph Lombardi and Jasmine Mander are now banned from all soccer for 1 year.
So what that means, at least for this tournament, they have been deducted 6 points. So essentially what is happening is they're pretty much more than likely will get grouped. Will get kicked out of the group stage. Also, the 3 coaches, including Bev Priestman, being banned for 1 year and fined $226,000 for a soccer organization who says they don't have any money, for the women. That seems like a lot as well. But it's just whole thing is so. It sucks for everyone. It sucks for the players who had nothing to do with it. It sucks for the teams who were victims of these coaches. And then it sucks for the reputation of soccer in Canada because this gold medal will always be looked at as shady. It will be looked at, these women can't enjoy their gold medal. Now, some may say they won it because they were spying and they really didn't deserve it. That's an argument. Christine Sinclair actually came out with a statement saying, I'm not going to read the statement, but she basically said, Christine said they were never shown drone footage. I feel so bad for the team. It's not fair to them, which that's the part where a lot of people are saying it doesn't matter if they were shown it, if their coaches were implying it or knew the tactics. The players had nothing to do with it, but they benefited from spying. So That's the part where I completely believe the players, but they still possibly benefited from the cheating. I have seen most of the people, okay, I've seen mixed reactions. Some I think it's too harsh of a punishment, saying players suffer for the actions of others. They might as well forfeit their games and come home. Sad day for Canadian women's soccer. And then someone goes, unfair, too much. The players don't deserve this. Then some people are saying
the sanction was very light. They had to be eliminated and sanctioned for quite some time. What they did is fraud, and it is not the first time this has happened with that federation.
This is FIFA's sanction, but apparently IOC, the International Olympic Committee, can still have their own punishment separate from FIFA, from what I understand. So the Olympic Committee could come back and say, no, we're banning them. So that's still a separate issue, I believe. But, at the end of the day, is it unfair to the players? Yes. But then also, cheating, we talked about it yesterday or the day before. It happens to a lot of people cheated. A lot of people have cheated. I mean, the kind of crazy part is to get caught cheating on New Zealand. That's what kind of broke the story. I think that is kind of ironic.
That's funny every time you say cheating on New Zealand.
Oh, yeah. I do feel bad for the players. But I don't know. What did I say the other day? Most cheating happens every day. And so many sports, but I do feel bad for these players, and that gold medal is going to be looked at as suspect for I think many years. If they get to keep the gold medal, because I have heard people talking about there's a possibility it's going to get revoked. I didn't think that was on the table, but just today I heard reports that it could get revoked, or however you say that, and I would be heartbroken for the players.
Stupid coaches.
Yeah. Most people in the comment section, at least on Instagram, were just saying, on like neutral sites, they're saying just feel really bad for the players. And I think a lot of people had respect for Bev Priestman. I think she was one of those coaches people had a lot of respect for. Now she has no respect. Not only no respect, people, this is a very bad look on her. I feel bad for the Swedish team, the American team, the Japanese team, anyone who is beaten at the Olympics. I feel bad for it too. You know what I mean? So it's not just I feel bad for the Canadian players. I feel bad for the people who were the victims. And also, I had a weird feeling about the Olympics last time in 2021. I said, how are the Canadians so good in beating everyone?
Yeah.
That's a lot of people said that Swedish match, the final, the fact that the Canada won, a lot of people had a weird feeling like Sweden should have won that match. Maybe they should have, and I feel bad for Sweden.
I don't.
Sarah's still salty about the World Cup, so she won't get over that in a long time.
Yes. Ask me in 20 years.
The other thing that happened was in this tournament, they deducted 6 points from the Canadian team. So that meant starting today, because they had won their first game, starting today, they were minus 3 points because they were at 3 points and they had minus 6 points. Basically, if they didn't win this game, they were going to be grouped. It was going to be out. It was going to be over. And I think a lot of people thought the way Canada, I'm sure the players feel so defeated, so deflated, so done dirty, screwed over. I'm sure the players, even though they benefited, they didn't want to benefit in that way. You know what I mean? So this was an absolute must-win game for Canada. And what happened in this game? Again, it was wild. France scored in the 42nd minute, and then in the 58th minute, Jessie Fleming scored. So it was 1-1. But like I said, Canada couldn't tie. They had to win to not get grouped. This is where it kind of got crazy. They had 13 minutes of added time. They had so much added time. I heard a little bit of controversy about the added time. They thought it was too much, but there was a problem with like the goalkeeper or something. But in the 90th plus 12th minute, Gilles scores. Canada scores. And the crowd went, and I was not anticipating that. They had to win to stay in this tournament. And there was a little more controversy saying, and someone goes, refs really pulling for the hosts here. Stoppage time was 13 and they let it go on for 16 minutes. F France. Canada won deal.
So it seems everybody's cheating.
So this was just a wild game. Canada had to win, and I think based on the comment sections I see, I think most people feel bad for the Canada players. So Canada won. I'm happy for them. Not happy for, their whole organization is a shit show right now. Bev Priestman actually I'm going to read this headline. Band coach Bev Priestman heartbroken and apologizes in Canada drone spying scandal at Olympics. So she has been sent home. So she's not there, obviously.
She says, I'm absolutely heartbroken for the players, and I would like to apologize from the bottom of my heart for the impact the situation has had on all of them, Priestman said in a statement. As the leader of the team on the field, I want to take accountability, and I plan to fully cooperate with the investigation.
She apologizes. I mean, take that for what it is. If she knew about it, I think her players have a lot to be upset with her. So it's upsetting. And then also, I don't have this in this article, but apparently the government has stopped funding any of the Canadian soccer organization until the investigation is complete. So they're not getting any funding, I believe, from the Canadian government. I'll put the headline when I find it, but I believe that's what I read. So I think a lot of people are torn about Canada, but most people say they just feel really bad for the players. At the beginning of the match, it was in France, so obviously the crowd is gonna clap for France. But apparently the Canadian, they gave them a big standing ovation and clapped a lot for the players because they said, we're with you. This is unfair to you guys as players. So but it was exciting. When you just talk about pure soccer, that 2-1 finish. It was the last game to be ending today. It just felt like theater. The whole day of soccer felt like theater from the first game to the last game. But such a crazy day. And now people are saying, well, even though Canada won, is there any way they can move on to the next round? And what I did read was the scenario would have to be based on what I saw on Twitter. New Zealand would have to beat Canada. New Zealand would have to beat France by 7 goals at this point. I don't see that happening, and Canada still has to win and everything, but I don't see that specific scenario happening. New Zealand's not beating France by 7 goals. No way. No way. Then again, based on this day-to-day, you never know.
You never know what's going to happen in soccer.
Yeah. What did everyone think? Also, the top teams, United States, I'd say the top 4 teams, United States, Germany, I would say France. A lot of people saying France and Spain, US, Germany, those are the top teams, maybe not even Germany. But a lot of people are saying France's starting lineup is amazing. Their bench players are not the best. So if they can stay healthy, it'll be hard to beat them. But if they can stay healthy, but Canada beat them today. Nigeria really put on a fight for Spain. USA is winning this gold medal. But it's like what we saw today with the USA, everything clicked. There was a few pieces that didn't click, but everything was clicking and they look great. And it really took you back to the good old day, the heyday.
Yeah, the winning days.
Yeah. Excited. What did everyone think? Who watched the Australia-Zambia match is going to go down in history as one of the wildest matches. I loved it. It was exciting. Those are the kind of games I really like watching. And like I said, are you an Australian fan who says, although it was great that you won, you should never have been in that scenario? It was a great match. And a lot of people even said, if Sam Kerr was even there, it wouldn't have made a difference. The Canadian players, they have a lot that is not going right with them, but a win is a win. Hey.
Yeah.
Questions, comments down below. We'll talk to everyone later. Have a great night. Bye.
Bye.